I've swum for Team GB and Jamaica, the country where I hold the 200 metres butterfly record. So you might think I've always been confident coming to a pool, but growing up I was often asked why I wasn't on the athletics track or playing football instead. The UK lacks a swimming culture amongst black and ethnic minority communities, so as a mixed race kid with a passion for the water, I really stood out.
It's been a real struggle for me to get to where I have today, but even more so for the 95% of black adults and 80% of their children who don't swim.
It's estimated that just 2% of regular swimmers in England are black, so it's hardly surprising that so very few of us reach elite competitive levels. Rebecca Achieng Ajulu-Bushell became the first black woman to swim for Team GB back in 2012, now retired for almost a decade. She heard all the same myths about black people that I did. Our bones are too heavy, we sink because of our muscle mass, and Afro hair is badly affected by chlorine.
It was definitely a very white sport predominantly, and that sense of, you know, black people can't swim, that kind of myth, that really common trope that was bandied around all the time was very much there. When people said, you know, black people's bones are heavier or they're going to sink in water, that actually they were talking about me. You know, you're always struck by that sense that you are different.
Role models for both of us have been few and far between, and historically many black families have generations of non-swimmers.
Why do you think there are so few black people that do swim?
Culturally, that is not a sport that black people have been encouraged to enter into. There is the hair thing, which people talk about a lot in the black community. There's a lot of difficulty behind girls being encouraged to, you know, go and swim and damage their hair in the chlorinated pool and have to deal with that afterwards.
How does it make you feel when people say that black people's bones are heavy and they sink in water?
It makes me really sad that a lot of people who look like me would have been dissuaded from swimming because of that kind of language. We can swim, I did swim, you are swimming. It was one of the greatest joys in my life, and I think, you know, that's something that I wouldn't want somebody to miss out on just because of the colour of their skin.
One of those who definitely felt discouraged was Akinwolere. He couldn't swim until the age of 28, but as a Blue Peter presenter, became a world record holder.
I have 5 national records out in Jamaica, and including the 200 butterfly.
My guy.
But your world record is very different.
I swam across the deepest stretch of ocean in the world. So the Marianas Trench is the deepest stretch of ocean. That part of it is 11 miles deep and I think 8 kilometres across. Fear of water was definitely something that kept creeping up all the time. I wanted to show young people that look like me that actually, if you push yourself past set barriers, it can actually be a portal to a lot of amazing things in your life.
Tell me why it took you so long to get into the water.
I was 8 when I came to the UK. By that point, kids in my class were already in the deep end doing their bits. There was just no attention to me. And I realised that, honestly, I was deeply afraid of the water. So I basically left school without learning to swim.
Do you think there was a racial element to how you were treated around Poolside and kind of learning to swim?
I actually became a swim teacher. I couldn't believe it. In my swim teacher exercises, there were swim teachers in a pool in London saying, oh, I don't think black people can swim. I couldn't believe, this was 2 years ago. And that's still being said. You know, even now, I'm still going to the pool and I'm usually still the only one. And that has to change massively. Okay, I've heard a lot about your national records, and obviously I've got a world record, just putting it out there. What are we saying? Do you fancy a race?
Are you ready now? Are you sure?
Get your things on, let's do this.
Well, he gave it a good go. World record or not, I think he was out of his depth. But we both deserve a medal for racing in water that cold.
When's the last time you saw a swimming race with no white people in? No, seriously though, I really want to help get the message across that swimming is for everyone and that black people of all ages should learn to swim. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't.